Ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at a monster. Because the various versions of myself are perfect and unattainable. I am faceless in any given situation, and my personality is changeable. Every opinion on Facebook is the opinion of someone else. Every picture on Instagram is filtered. I am a picture of health, and you should see how many people like it. I turn down real relationships and create real grief. I am faithless. I tear off tights with my teeth. Now, a lot of people think I'm in the wrong, but it's a series of events that creates a monster. A monster never knows if it's a monster. It's the same with Godzilla, Loch Ness, or King Kong. Like Dracula can be tracked back to Transylvania, the creation of this reflection is no shadier, and its catalyst was a she. She was the first one I wanted to want me back. After initial contact, I knew, and without any wit or tact, I threw myself into the unknown. It took all my courage, but I'd already thrown. After initial contact, I had to become a thing. With that, she looked back with a reassuring grin. She said, yes, all of a sudden I was a king. I'll save you the rest, but we grew up together, throw up together, spent long nights staying up together, we blow up together, make up together, spent long nights getting drunk together, come rain or shine or whatever the weather. She's what kept me rooted, would not ever leave me, never. That was at least until I met her at Huddersfield train station, where I thought she'd arranged to treat me. I didn't know it was a one-way trip, no return to devastation, where I now see she'd arranged to cheat me. She was frozen, like a statue, with a strange look in her eyes. In retrospect, I should have knew, but I was blind to her guise. Then came the treason. It's not you, it's me. We met too young. I can't remember the details, but I think this was the reason. I didn't react instantly. It took a few hours for it to sink in. I had to get it in my skull, and it took a few hours of thinking for me to realize that if I was a ship, there's a hole in my hull, and now I was sinking. And as I sank into that deep, dark sea, something strange started to happen to me. I started to cry. I'd soaked up all the water, and it squirted from each eye. I couldn't stop it. The salt water stung. I was the sponge that was forever wrung. I was crying for a reason, and it wasn't hard to figure out why. I'm crying because I couldn't accept that this was goodbye. So I ring her up and down the phone, I cry, we're two halves of one person. You can't leave me half a person, we're a team. You made us a team, I'll sing for you. What do you mean, how can this not sting? You made you my everything. And all of a sudden I quoted every line from every rom-com I'd never rated, but hadn't articulated. I hadn't come close to saying what was actually happening in my head. 4 years of missed chances, and now I said everything I should have never not said. I guess I was just shocked. I guess I was just struggling. I didn't know what to do. I felt sick, my stomach rumbling. I'd never had this feeling before. I was gushing with emotion. I was full to the brim. I'd never lost my breathing before. Everything was spilt, and here's the worst thing. She didn't even reply. And when she's finally forced to, it's just, bye. I'm left alone, confused and bemused, and even though it's something I'd never choose, I turn this feeling into anger, because when the smoke settles, she's left me nude. It feels alien, and I'm scared. I look in the mirror. This can't be good for my health. She's left me nothing left but this image of myself. She's left me a half person. She didn't care. Left me nothing left except one shitty jumper we used to share. Left me nothing left except a mountain desire to fucking burst. Wanted to throw a chair, and in her name I cursed. I'll show you. I calmed down over the next few days. The smoke began to settle, but the hurt still stays. My heart is this open wound, a graze. How do I stop the pain? I know there has to be ways. So as my salty tears fade and the sponge begins to dry, a battle plan is made. From this moment on, I must become unbreachable. I must become numb to anything that can sink me. From this moment on, I must become unobtainable. I'll have every person in the world want to be with me. I'll become the best at everything I choose to do. I'll do things she cannot ignore. She wants to throw me to the wolves. I'll do everything she wanted to and more. I'll show you. I looked at the image of myself in the mirror, and I began to strive. From this image of myself, a strange and unknown depiction did arise. I began to obsess over success. I turned to lower body kinesis. I ran every day for 2 months like I needed this. I moved to London, got into drama school, and acted like I believed in this. I cut my hair and became a model. I developed confidence with women and formed my own unique charm. I went out more and hit the bottle, developed the conscience of a villain and formed a pretended sense of calm. The various versions of myself became perfect and unattainable. I became faceless in any given situation, and my personality became changeable. Every opinion on Facebook became the opinion of someone else. Every picture on Instagram became filtered. I became a picture of health, and you should have seen how many people liked it. I obsessed so hard the mirrors in the eyes of every person that met me, but I didn't see people. That nice girl called Becky was just a chance to get from A to B. The first one, reconnected, because I was floating. Resurrected, but that didn't matter now. I'd grown beyond showing her. I'd figure out how. I'd show everyone else too. I'll show her became I'll show you. Because it's a series of events that creates a monster. But if a monster never knows it's a monster, what does that make me?